Okay, lovely day in Middle Tennessee. Partly cloudy. Supposed to be a high of 82, I think, today. A little hotter than normal. I am at the intersection heading south on Franklin Road. Also, let's see, this would be known as Highway 31. And this is kind of like one of the gateway roads into downtown Franklin. You may or may not know. There's over here you can see some football lights. That's Battleground Academy, private school, been around, gosh, 150 years. There's a new apartment complex on the corner here. So I am driving through the intersection of Mac Hatcher and Franklin Road. Again, it's Highway 31, but everybody calls it Franklin Road. One of the two main roads you took to go to Niceville over the centuries. That property is for sale if you're interested. One of the 20th, in the top 20 largest landholders in the United States is put that on the market. Multi-bazillionaire guy. We are, it's a back way into Franklin United Methodist Church there. On the right, you can't see because of all the trees and shrubbery, is Harlandale Farm. Used to be a walking horse farm for actually a century or 150 years. And the city eventually bought the property, turned it into a park. There's a little subdivision in there, real little, only about 6 to 8 lots. And now it's public park. They have Pilgrimage Festival that they have every year. Last year had about 25,000 people come for the weekend. Music festival. I think Justin Timberlake's on the board because he lives in Leapers Fork. Originally from Memphis. But so I got some traffic actually because we just left a hilltop about 3 miles back where the Blue Angels did a flyover. They went from Murfreesboro about 30 miles east of Franklin, over Franklin, and into Niceville and Nolensville area. Their whole trip was going to take about 17 minutes, they said. Took them about, to get from the 30 miles from Murfreesboro, took them about 3 or 4 minutes. And they're probably not, full on. Sorry I ramble so much, but as you know from my previous videos, this is all I know how to do. It's a little larger tract of the old house back there. Can't quite see through here that there's a little bit of a rise. There's still some cars out in the Harlandale Farm area. From a lot of people around town were parked out to watch the flyover. Well, I didn't know I'd have so much traffic, so now I have to fill the blanks because I can. You can fast forward this spot here as I would try to think of things to say. We're coming up over the rise here at the factory, which is on the left. I'm not sure if we ever drove by there when you were here. It's been a while since we saw you. Yeah, there's some cars here. Oh, they're letting them out. Sorry, dude. Several ways in and out of the park. Part of the park backs up to the Harpeth River where you can put in canoes, kayaks, and stuff like that, which is kind of nifty. There's a lot of in and out spots so you can put in for kayaks, canoes, and then run for 1 to 6 hours, and because it winds a whole bunch. So if you're just sitting and floating, it's a nice leisurely day on the river. That hill you can see right back there is called Scrambler's Knob. It was and this is what I've been told, during the Civil War they would make some communications with huge lantern-like lights that they could send a message all the way to Murfreesboro, 30 miles away, during the battles they had, which is just mind-blowing to me that you could see any light 30 miles away that wouldn't have been, electrical in nature. Some people playing soccer out there. It's a cool little passive park. And I don't think you can ride horses anymore in there. I can't recall. That same guy that's selling that land behind us, we drove by, he also owns this property up on the hill. He's got about 20 acres here. And he's buying up properties on the south end of this property that is a light industrial, old 70s kind of, you know, car fix-it shops and body shops and tile companies and just light industrial stuff, old buildings. Buddy of mine has a piano company that same guy is buying his property and building from him. He also now owns the factory. He had bought it from the original developer, and he is supposedly going to develop all this stuff and probably do something with that industrial park, or at least get access from the backside from the factory to this land. So that's the hearsay. If you saw when I aimed over here a few seconds ago, there was some cranes over there. They're upgrading the sewer system in Franklin. I think they're spending, I can't remember, like 50 million or more to get that done. I had no idea what somebody's doing with that old house there. Oh, several of them. I've never been back down that little lane. A couple of these old little houses that become either residences or somebody made a little tchotchke place out of it. Of all things, a lot of these houses right here, they've been around forever. They didn't have sewer. But I think they've run the sewer line now back there. There's a little building right here on the left. Some buddies of mine bought that years ago. It used to be a Mexican restaurant. Made a recording studio out of it. Tommy, our old bass players, gosh, he's played with Springsteen and Sheryl Crow, and his last tour he did with Stevie Wonder. He had part ownership in it with a couple other muso guys, and he's since sold his part of it. Trying to fill in, you know, the dead time. Didn't think I'd have all this dead time. Here's the last little house before you get to another entrance of Harlandale Farm, and we're coming right up to, you can almost see above the treetop the water tower for the factory. Those little guys for sale. I sure hope you have fast forwarded this just in case I think of something brilliant I want to say. I keep it rolling because it's free, other than your time. One of the guys that still owns this, he has, historically, he's actually created sounds for Yamaha keyboards. So I'm assuming he still has some ownership there. I don't know. Well, let's see if this cop cares that I got a thing I'm holding in my hand. Maybe because I'm stopped, they won't be flipping around to get me. I don't know if you've ever seen, I never heard of walking horses until I moved down here decades ago. It's pretty interesting how they do their thing. Here's the little, that old industrial park I had mentioned, and then here we're coming up to the Franklin location. Actually, this flooring company right here, DT McCall, they call it Carpet One. It's one of the couple of companies I like working with for flooring stuff. They know their stuff. There's also little spots around Franklin where you see this little group of folk there. It says Fresh Georgia Peaches. They come up from Georgia and throw up these little things in different spots. Some of these retailers let them do it because it brings in potential customers. But anyway, and there we are back again. Okay, man, it's turning red again. I'm doing no good. I'm gonna